Memphis, what's a tattoo horror story?
The first one that comes to mind is not a story of my own, but it is a story from a client of mine who was a nurse. She had a patient come in with an arm tattoo that was so badly infected that they decided to amputate the entire arm. I've never heard of any worse story than that. I've stopped using any product that could be any way linked to risk of infection, Aquaphor, Vaseline, A&D, because they're petroleum based. I've only used vegan products now. Hustle Butter is a great example of one that I use with all my tattoos. I've never once had an issue. And the best part about it is that it's often on deals on TikTok Shop. The worst thing is doing a beautiful tattoo and seeing it heal bad. This is my favorite aftercare product, and I use it while I'm tattooing. And I've never once had an issue. Big fan of this stuff. This is what it looks like. This is the product everyone should be using on their fresh tattoos and old tattoos. It brightens old tattoos. How your old tattoos look is completely dependent on the layer of skin on top. And if it's dry or ashy, you need something that's going to moisturize it and bring it back to life, because it's all about that top layer of skin being nice and healthy. I use it on all my tattoos, old, fresh, during, after. No complaints. Never use Aquaphor again.
What's a mysterious girl tattoo?
She probably only has one tattoo and she never posted it, never announced that she was getting it, and she probably won't ever. So I guess nobody really knows.
Denisha, what's a mysterious girl tattoo?
Maybe like a high priestess tarot card. If a girl has that, you don't know if she's empowering herself, if she's gonna try to sacrifice you in a ritual, or if she's gonna put a love spell on you.
Memphis, what's a mysterious girl tattoo?
Any tattoo that's somehow related to Lana Del Rey. We get it. You're so mysterious. Just you and 14 billion other streamers.
Donnie, what's a mysterious girl tattoo?
I think a girl that has any kind of representation of the moon, if it's a crescent moon, full moon, doesn't matter. The moon is one of the most mysterious objects to mankind historically. That's a pretty mysterious person. We're talking about people who are just sensitive to things that other people aren't sensitive to. Also, I think about girls who get tattoos of a girl's face, but part of the face is covered either with flowers or a moth or a butterfly. The key is only one eye can be seen in the image. One eye is probably focused on you, and the other eye is focused on something you just wouldn't begin to understand. There used to be this trend in tattooing where people would want to mix the ashes of their cremated loved ones into the tattoo ink so it could be tattooed into their skin. It could be mom, dad, grandma. Sometimes it was a pet. And this one time, I had a client that wanted to get their pet's name, Trixie, tattooed on their arm with ashes from their cremations in the ink. Well, Trixie was apparently a mischievous dog, hence the name, and I said, okay, we'll give it a shot. They brought in an urn, and inside the urn were Trixie's ashes. Well, there I was mixing up Trixie's ink, and something terrible happened. When I put the bag back in the urn, a big poof of ash came out like a bag of flour. I was mortified. I wanted to die immediately, but I looked at my client, and they were like laughing. They thought it was hilarious. There were ashes all over my setup, and she said, you know, that's just like Trixie, to be pulling tricks and being mischievous. And she was laughing about it, and I thought, you know, it's great that instead of being sad during this occasion, that she was able to laugh and remember the laughter that mischievous dog brought her. But those ashes are too sacred to mess with at the tattoo shop, so glad the trend's over.
What is a millennial tattoo?
The word faith written in cursive, but the T was like a cross. What was really popular is like the feathers, specifically on like the back of your shoulder, and like it would break off into a bunch of birds flying.
Memphis, what is a millennial tattoo?
Dream catchers, big time. That is like the most abundantly millennial tattoo. And also Virgo tattoos. I don't know why, but I feel like every millennial is for some reason a Virgo. Just grow up.
Donnie, what is a millennial tattoo?
Oh, that depends on what kind of millennial you are. If you're one of those hipster millennials, you got those obscure song lyrics on your ribs, and don't forget the mustache tattoo. If you're one of those athleisure ladies, you know, the avocado toast brunch, you guys single-handedly made basic tattoos into a lifestyle. Feather tattoo turns into bird silhouettes. Watercolor cheetah print. The best of you millennials, you're the ones that got the owl, but you made it geometric. You got the bird silhouettes, but you made sure it stood for every member of your family. And you got the watercolor tattoo, but you put the dragonfly for grandma. I love you guys. I miss you.
Aaliyah, what is a millennial tattoo?
The Winnie the Pooh outline from the original book that he's holding Piglet's hand, or any character tattoo, basically.
What kind of person has this tattoo?
I would definitely say it's a guy who really enjoys to gaslight you for fun, and he wears cowboy hats when he's never stepped foot on a farm, and he drinks every single night that ends in a Y.
Memphis, what kind of person has this tattoo?
Ooh, classic. Well, you probably really like Wendy's. Of the angel number folk, I'd say the gals with 444 are my favorite. But let me guess, every time you look at a clock, you see 444, and extra credit if you were born April 4th, and extra credit if you were born April 4th, 2004. So yeah, if you have 444 tattooed on you, DM me.
What kind of person has this tattoo?
Oh yeah, this is my Gen X gangster right here. Shows up to every appointment in an 86 Cutlass. It's a project car because the pit bull tore up the back seat. I don't know, he's got Eminem on repeat and he looks like he eats cigarettes, but really he's a big teddy bear. He's not tough at all. Don't judge him because he's got street smarts, and street smarts beat book smarts any day of the week.
What kind of person has this tattoo?
You're probably like me, and you have a TBR list that is endless, and every time you finish a book, you have another book to start right away, or you just don't finish the book, and now you have 4 different books going at the same time that are halfway read.
Donnie, what is the most painful spot to get a tattoo?
Ooh, there's a lot of painful spots. For me, it's got to be the sternum. I remember once a young guy came in, just graduated from Marine boot camp, and he wanted the Eagle Anchor Globe Marine logo right in the center of his chest. I told him, that's a bad spot. You should probably move it to the pec. And he said, man, I'm a Marine. I can do this. And I believed him. And we started. And after a few lines, he said, man, that's making my eyes water. And I told him, you know, that's called crying. And I don't know if it was his last tattoo, but I'm sure it's the one that hurt the most.
Memphis, what is the most painful spot for a tattoo?
I had to say the pachina. No, but actually, I would say the pachina. Actually, I think the armpit is probably up there. I know it's not a common spot, but even tattoos that get close to the armpit, people always start to get really tense, and I would just steer clear if you can.
Allie, where is the most painful spot to get a tattoo?
I would say wrist, or like the back of your knee, like your knee ditch, or like calf area.
Aaliyah, what is the most painful spot for a tattoo?
Probably ribs. Anything on the torso, honestly.
Donnie, what is a tattoo trend you predict for 2025?
That's easy. You're going to see more and more artificial intelligence invading the tattoo industry. Mark my words, we're going to see AI making tattoos. Are you scared?
Aaliyah, what's a tattoo that you think will be popular in 2025?
So I feel like fine line is probably running its course, and I think we're going to go back to some more like bold, maybe like Lisa Frankie glitter tattoos, kind of. I think that's going to come back a little bit. Definitely more color. I feel like we've been doing a lot of black and gray lately.
Allie, what is a 2025 tattoo prediction?
Ooh, I think that people are gonna stop doing the fine line tattoos, and they're gonna get the big black and bold flower tattoos instead.
Memphis, what's a tattoo that you think will be popular in 2025?
I think cyber sigilism is going to continue to be big coming into 2025. I think certain things are going to be out. A lot of like the fine line stippling start to slow down. I think we're going to start to see things that are bold blossom, but I could be wrong.
If TikTok gets banned, please go follow our Instagram or your chin is chopped type shit.